what is your epic dream?
Well, and that you gave me these questions before, and I looked at that word and I'm like, epic, right? So she's calling us up, not just what is your dream or what are your aspirations or what's your fondest even, but what is epic. And epic, to me meaning profound, prolific, sustained, impactful. My epic dream, and I'll qualify all of this by saying that all of this is preceded by my family being stable and sound and their needs being met. My epic dream is that all would have a clear, unimpeded pathway to their dream.
Hi, and welcome to another edition of King Crush Thursday, the series where we highlight and uplift Black men, because frankly, not too many people are doing it. My name is Val Gay, and I'm super excited to talk to this brother and to introduce you to this brother today. He is a widely recognized leader as a father and family advocate. He's a minister. He is overall a community organizer. His name is Mr. David Cozart. Hi, David.
Hi, Sister Gay. How you doing?
I'm doing well, sir. How are you, Brother Cozart?
Better than I deserve to be. Better now that I'm on the set with you.
Oh, bless you, bless you. I'm so glad. Thank you so much for agreeing to be a part of this. I'm super excited that we get to talk and help to bust open the very narrow and myopic stereotype and views of Black men, with the goal of creating a repository of 6 questions. We have blown past our first goal of 100 answers by 100 different positive and successful Black men. I'm so excited. I gotta tell you, when I first said, people used to say to me, well, when are you gonna stop? And I was like, I don't know. And one day I was driving and I was on around episode 21 and I was like, 100 sounds like a good number, nice round number. So then I started saying 100. because it felt like it was going to take forever. And it took a while, but we passed it. And so we decided to keep going. And so I'm so glad you're here, because this repository of 6 questions on our way, past 100 answers, we want to share that with young kings who may or may not have positive Black male role models in their life. So that young king can come and see these same questions answered by all these different men and hopefully find guidance there. And then for the rest of us who are neither male or even Black, for us to actually go to the same repository and learn and expand our minds about what perhaps even our preconceived notions are of Black men. Right. And so with that, I am going to get started with the first question, which is, what does manhood mean to you?
Yeah. So Val, let me again say thank you for this needed and noble effort. And so I'm glad you surpassed 100 because there are millions of worthy Black men out there to be highlighted. So I'm honored to be considered in the number. And so maybe you're getting at the bottom of the barrel now. So that's why I got it in the mix. But let me tell you, so manhood, I believe that manhood, I'll try to summarize in a word or two. One word would be I think manhood is a state in which you have the ability to rightly exercise the gift of acknowledgement. Acknowledgement. I think a man must be able to acknowledge those things that he is responsible for stewarding, and do so. That's acknowledging that. Acknowledgement is such a powerful thing because you will not activate until you first acknowledged. And it can be tough to acknowledge, right? And I think that's part of manhood. So not only acknowledging those things that they're responsible for and acting on that, but also acknowledging the challenges that lie within all of us, of every, regardless of gender, race, ethnicity, age, geography. We must acknowledge that there are growth opportunities in each one of us and acknowledge that that's not a bad thing. I think that is a true marker of manhood. So confronting in many ways, and people look at, you would know it, confrontation as a bad thing. Or if we were talking about in context of men, you might call confrontation toxic, but it's not. Confrontation is very positive. I believe confrontation, a positive definition of confrontation, is acknowledging those things that need to be addressed. And so manhood is acknowledgement. Let me stop there.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. So David, who and or what is important to you?
The first question dovetails into this. Those things that are under my stewardship, under my dominion, again, not a negative word, not a dictator or a patriarchal word, but under my care. And so my wife, and my children, in a secular sense, those around me that I have the potential to care for. That's what's important. Those are who are important to me. And of course, in a spiritual sense, my creator, whom I choose to call God, and Jesus and or Holy Spirit, in my tradition. And so on earth, my family, my friends, my community, transcending that, important to me is God and service to him.
Got it. Awesome. Thank you so much. So David, how do you want us to see you?
See me as somebody that sees you. My mother and my father didn't have a great deal of material resources, but the resources that they gave me and the attributes that they were able to pass on to me were ones of selflessness, authentically. I mean, my house was that house that, all the boys and all the fellas and all my friends wanted to come over because they knew something was going to be on that aisle on the stove. Like, I know your mama got something to eat at the house, right? And if I brought them in and didn't offer them, mom and daddy say, you ain't gonna offer them nothing to eat, right? And so how I would want to be known is one that recognizes the needs of others and seeks to be attentive to them within reason, obviously, right? While still maintaining and caring for oneself, but also oneself not being the only object of attention all the time, at least, right? And so that I hope folks will know me in that way. I hope they know me in the things that you introduced me as well. Those are very passionate things to me. But cradled within each one of those roles that you mentioned, I hope that thread of care for others and compassion towards others is in there.
That's beautiful. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. So question 4 is, what is your epic dream?
Well, and that you gave me these questions before, and I looked at that word and I'm like, epic, right? So she's calling us up, not just what is your dream or what are your aspirations or what's your fondest even, but what is epic. Epic, to me, meaning profound, prolific, sustained, impactful. My epic dream, and I'll qualify all of this by saying that all of this is preceded by my family being stable and sound and their needs being met. My epic dream is that all would have a clear, unimpeded pathway to their dream. And so that's a big ship. That's an epic ship to turn, knowing all the barriers that some of us and others deal with. But my epic dream would be to have pathways, unfettered pathways for people on this earth, walking through this human condition, to have no manufactured barriers to their dream, right? Because I think we come out of the womb with a destination to our dream, both economically and physically and spiritually and educationally and vocationally. But there are so many barriers, and I use the word manufactured because some barriers are in fact conjured and intentionally placed, or at least automatically placed, but because of the system that's been built. And so that would be my epic dream.
So that
would include me too, right? Because I have my pathway.
Right. That's awesome. I get it.
So if you're asking for a dream, you gotta let me dream for everybody, right? So
that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yes, that's awesome. Excellent. Thank you very much. So question 5 is, Mr. David Cozart, who are you?
Yeah, it's complicated. It's complicated. I have the ability to go from the profound and the sublime to the completely childish instantaneously. So, and everything along that continuum, And so I am a child of the King. You call this King Crush Thursday or King Crush podcast. I'm a child of the King and have entree to all those things associated with that. Again, father, husband, son, community organizer. But I think what I'd want to be known for is I cared about the room, regardless of the room. I'm one that cares about that room. Hyper analytical of people. I'm looking on the screen now, I'm looking at your surroundings. So I'm trying to put everything together and figure out who you are, right? That's what I do. But hope for goodwill, for the purposes of goodwill, because the more we know of one another, the better we can serve and partner and walk with and lift and, one another. And so I'd want to be, I think I'm one that wants to know about the room. Yeah.
Got it. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. And so here we are already at question 6, which is there anything I should have asked you that I didn't, or you wanted me to ask you that I didn't? In other words, what did I miss?
Those questions are so far reaching. I wouldn't call it that you missed something. So I'll probably approach it with what might be helpful for me to share that might be helpful to somebody that's listening to this in some other time stamp. And so maybe the question would have been, what would you say to somebody that needs to be encouraged? And so what I would say to someone anyone that needs to be encouraged is that you're always just one motion away from a better situation, right? You're one act of your own recognizance or one move of a divine entity or one shift of the energies of the universe of you being in a better place, right? And so if that be the case, you always have hope within your arm's reach, And so if I was going to encourage somebody, I want them to know that hope is within arm's reach. It will not feel like that at times. We have funerals, it doesn't feel like hope's at arm's reach. When you're at the bottom in addiction, it doesn't feel like hope's at his arm's reach. You lost a child, a friend, got a diagnosis, doomed for a dreadful one. It doesn't feel like hope is at arm's reach, but it actually is. And so the question that you didn't ask, how could I encourage someone, or what could I say to someone that would be encouraged, is that hope is accessible always.
Wow, how beautiful is that? Thank you. Thank you so much for this. I really appreciate your stance in the world. I appreciate that you're holding it down in Lexington, Kentucky.
Yeah.
Appreciate that, the work that you're doing to promote fatherhood, particularly among Black communities, is a beautiful thing. And I honor you, my king. I pray that your epic dreams come true sooner rather than later, and that you will continue to do the work that you do, that you go deeper and wider with the work that you do. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, don't go anywhere, because I want to thank this audience for joining us today. And I really hope that you got as much out of this interview as I did. If there is a positive and successful Black man in your life who you want to see highlighted in this forum, please click the link below or in my bio, fill out the nomination form, and we'll take it from there. I don't know what the end of the phase 2 is, because we blew past phase 1. And so we're just going to keep going until I hear we're going to keep going. And so we want to talk to all those brothers out there that are making a positive impact in the lives of their families, starting with their nuclear, the lives of the people around them, starting with the nuclear family and extending out to the greater community and everyone in between. Those are the brothers we want to talk to. And they could be a leading expert in family and fatherhood advocacy or not. We want to talk to them all. And so please stay tuned next week for yet another amazing king. And in the meantime, please remember to spread love. Have a great day. Thank you so much. And David, thank you so much. That was really beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you for all you that tuned in.
Awesome.